don't say. Well, here she is now. You can tell her yourself.
Isn't that Miss Locke's dog, Willoughby?
Oh, don't interrupt when someone is barking. You were saying? Oh, really? Well, if she keeps wandering off like that, perhaps it would be better if we kept her on a lead.
Willoughby!
Ah, look, here she comes now.
Willoughby, it's all right. Mummy's here.
You know, sometimes it seems like he could talk.
But can Willoughby really talk?
Of course he can. Getting him to stop is the problem.
How do you learn to talk, dog?
How do you think? You have to master the grammar.
Practice when you can.
And avoid mongrels.
Far too much slang.
Now come along, I can't stand here all day talking shop.
Talking shop? What a silly expression.
There's nothing silly about it in the least.
What do you buy in a talking shop?
Conversations, of course.
Well, I've never seen a talking shop.
Well, that's because there is only one. And it belongs to Mrs. Corey.
Who's Mrs. Corey?
Who's Mrs. Corey? Mrs. Corey is older than anyone in the world. She talked to William before he went conquering, to Vlad before he went impaling, and to Alexander when he weren't so great.
Now we'll have to call it a shop in the park.
There is no shop in the park.
Remember, anything can happen if you let it.
That's it. I've run out of conversations.
Good day to you, Mrs. Corey.
Well, if it isn't Mary Poppins with Jane and Michael Banks. She knows us. And now here's poor little Georgie. Who? Georgie Banks. Your father. He used to give his nanny the slip and come into my shop here in secret. It can't have been the same George Banks. That would have been 40 years ago. And no one can remember back that far. Listen, dearie. I remember everything. I remember George used to love my gingerbread. I wonder if we've got any left today. Annie, Fanny, look lively.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, there you are. Gingerbread pieces with gingerbread stars. Oh, Georgie always saved his stars. Now, Mary Poppins, what can I do for you?
Well, I did want an ounce of conversation.
I'm all out of conversations. And I'm right out of words, too. You see, we've had a lot of chatterboxes in here today, but I'll see what we've got left. Ooh, I do have some letters. Little bit of back chat, an ounce, you say. That'll be 15 letters. Come on, take your pick.
Okay, Jane, you choose 7.
I've got a D, G, R, U, C, L, and I. They're no good. You can't make a conversation out of those.
Come on, Michael, 7 more.
I got an A, F, S, E, T, O, and P.
And I'll choose an X. Now, let's see what words we can make.
Well, I see dog and cat. Rautoplex, that's 9.
Lapitoferus, that's 11. Nearly there.
Those don't count, you made them up. And where do you think words come from in the first place? Somebody had to make them up.
You know, we can always use the same letter more than once. Now let's see. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's not a word.
Oh, well, of course it's a word. And unless I'm very much mistaken, I think it's going to prove a rather useful one. Listen. When trying to express oneself, it's frankly quite absurd to leaf through lengthy lexicons to find the perfect word. A little spontaneity keeps conversation keen. You need to find a way to say precisely what you mean. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, it can mean exactly what you want it to. When Stone Age men were chatting, simply grunting would suffice.
Now, if they'd heard this word, they might have used it once or twice.
I'm sure Egyptian pharaohs would have grasped it in a jiff. Then every single pyramid would bear this hieroglyph. Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Say it, and while animals will not seem so ferocious.
Add some further flourishes, it's pseudo-co-co-co-cious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Umdiddle-lum-diddle-lie, 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 umdiddle-lum-diddle-lie.
Druids could have carved it on their mighty monoliths.
The ancient Greeks, I'm certain, would have used them in the myths.
I'm sure the Roman Empire only entered the abyss because those Latin scholars never had a word like this. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you say it softly, the effect can be hypnosis.
Check your breath before you speak in case it's halitosis.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Umdiddle-lum-diddle-lie, 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 umdiddle-lum-diddle-lie. Yeah, you can't say it backwards. Would you swivicula-lie, sipped as a creepus?
She may be tricky, but she's bloody good.
So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summing up this word and then you've got a lot to say.
Pick out those 18 consonants, add 16 vowels as well. Then put them in order, which is very hard to spell.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. OCIOUS.
Smarty pants.
Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic, supercalifragilistic, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 SUPERCALIFRAGILISTICEXPIALIDOCIOUS.
Here we go!
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic.
Don't you sound expectalistic.
Supercalifragilistic.